You're listening to KEXP at 90.3 FM in Seattle, streaming worldwide at kexp.org. I'm Cheryl Waters. I'm here in the KEXP studios with John Vanderslice. Welcome.
Cheryl, how are you doing today?
I'm fantastic, especially now that you're here. You look amazing. You brought an all-star band with you.
I brought Myrna with me, and they're lovely, and they're a brilliant band, so I'm honored to play with them.
And you have a beautiful new record, literally. I'm holding up the vinyl right now. Later, people watching the video will see it.
Awesome. Thank
Or
you.
you can go out and buy it. You can see it right now. But I'm so excited to hear these songs live. I really can't wait to catch up with you, too. But want to give us a couple songs first?
Absolutely, Cheryl. This is Oral History of Silk Road 1. This is called EXT. dirty car. You looked at me under a tan oak tree and said, where are we going? And where are we headed? What's the cost? What's the cost? What's the cost? What's the cost? Love is unsafe, best played by those with no blood in the game. 'Cause I have lost everything to this ship unraveling web. What's the cost? 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 What's the Light breaks on the mirror.
John Vanderslice live here in the KEXP studios. Songs from the new album, The Cedars. It sounds amazing.
Thank you so much.
John, let's meet this band.
This is Carly on guitar. She's awesome. She's singing with me.
Hey.
This is Nick Doris on drums. This is Doug Stewart on bass guitar. Robert Shelton is on keyboards. He co-produced and co-wrote The Cedars. So I'm indebted intellectually and socially and psychologically with him intensely.
Well, I have a lot of questions, but let's jump right in there. I heard this was a very intense record-making process. Maybe it took a while to get the songs together, but that you went into the studios for something like 50-plus hours. Hold yourself up.
Yeah, I wish it was 50 hours. It was 54 days, actually.
Oh, my gosh.
It was like a movie shoot. It was
Yeah,
super invested.
I did mean 50 days,
Yeah.
but yeah, crazy. Tell me about it.
Well, I think that I was like really too sad to make a record, and I was not like mentally healthy. And then I was dragged into the studio, partially by Rob and the co-producer James Riato. And the more that I was kind of forced to reckon that I was actually making something that was going to exist in the world and be archived, that I started kind of coming out of my like stupor. And it kind of like rewired my neural pathways, just struggling to make a record. And we really wanted it to sound unlike any other record that I had made. It's the 11th record. And so we used a lot of like modular synthesizers and ARPs and Moog stuff from the 60s and made all of these drum machines and synthesizers talk to each other using this square wave protocol. And we found ourselves in like this very strange, like super retro, like tech world of 1971. And it kind of broke systems of like writing that I'd previously leaned on, and it made something new. So it was enthralling.
It does sound enthralling. Of course, I'm a fan of all of that writing that you previously made, all of those records, but it is a bit of a turn for you, very exciting. What pushed you in that direction?
Well, I think that for me, because I've made so many albums, I wanted to kind of like, I don't know, I wanted to respect some of the music that I was listening to, which was, it felt more experimental and more like electronic, and it felt more deconstructed. And so I thought that if I didn't bring that into the writing, and it's really hard to kind of reframe how you write songs and how you view bridges and choruses and key changes and stuff like that. And so I just wanted to like make a record that I would want to listen to in 2019, you know?
Well, I know that you are always listening to music, and that's an understatement, actually.
Yes.
It inspires you, it excites you, and some people might not know that you're a massive fan of hip-hop, and I sometimes read articles and interviews with you to get recommendations and ideas. You just really seem to be at the forefront of all styles of music, but you get really excited about hip-hop, and I know that some hip-hop has inspired this record as well. Tell me about what that genre does to you, how that inspires you, and how you've worked that into this record.
Well, I think that one thing with hip hop is that it can be more about like individual fast creation and intuitive kind of thinking, and less about being in a studio. It's funny because we actually did the thing that I didn't want to do, which was be in a studio for 54 days with like electric acoustic instruments. You know, I think that language it's amazing, but it's so much more difficult to make that sound original because you have 70, 80 years of recorded history weighing down on you. You know, and like rap and hip hop is just, it's like, it's just a gray area as far as like a concretized genre. You know, like indie rock was in the 80s, like no one even knows what it is now, which is why it's still good. You know what I mean? Like the second that there's these forms that are, you know, the first time that there's like a class on your genre, you better run. You know what I mean? Like it's
exactly.
dead. You know what I mean? And so I just think that like the first culture that got me was mixtape culture and rap. The idea that like Young Thug would put out 2 full-length records on a label, and then he would release 2 mixtapes. And that was exciting to me because I think that you have to be connected to the unconscious, and you have to be, some part of you has to be working quickly and tapped into that well, that deep stuff, or it's just too fussy for me. And I think that rap can just be more, it's easier to be more experimental. And also, there's so many more people making rap music than there, you know what I mean? It's like 60% of streams on Spotify, over 60% are rap. And so it's just a very, very competitive field. Do you know what I mean? It's like eating pizza in Naples. It's probably your best bet. You know what I mean?
Well, it's a lot to be inspired by for sure, and it's funny.
Thank you for laughing, Doug. That was great. Bonus time.
I was laughing inside. It isn't surprising that even though you were looking for that sort of quick, spontaneous style, that you did labor in the studio, because that's sort of your comfort place.
Yes.
You've built this iconic and beloved studio in the Bay Area. You've built it several times, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
And so tell me a little bit about Tiny Telephone and the role that it plays. So many artists come through here and mention that they recorded there, and it's hard not to turn it into an interview about John Vanderslice when I want to focus on them and their new record.
Oh, I would definitely encourage you to do that.
But you've worked with so many people, and in fact, I want to say you've said repeatedly over the last few years that you were done making records, John Vanderslice records, and obviously you've kept very busy continuing to make records for other people at Tiny Telephone. But what made it time for you now to start making your own music again?
Well, I just think I got like psychically damaged. My mom died and I just went crazy. And it didn't even still make me want to make a record. I was kind of really dragged into the studio by Rob and Jamie. And I was not in any way looking forward to. I remember looking at the calendar and seeing like we had 4 days booked, and like I would rather have like garbage, like highway garbage pickup duty for a DUI than have gone into the studio. You know what I mean? It was just like filled me with so much dread. And then the second we got in there, and I brought in some terrible songs. And I remember Jamie Rowdy was like, man, this is unacceptable. And I was like, oh, shame. My old friend, I remember this. But that's why you have a producer. That's why you have producers who are smart and picky and who have seen it all. And so it's kind of like unlocked something. I hadn't really written songs in 4 years. I remember first time I picked up a guitar, I didn't have calluses anymore, which is strange because I made a decision that I was going to make 10, Mahler died writing his 10th symphony. I was like, I don't know, man, let's not push it. You know what I mean? There's that 9th symphony thing. I'm like, I don't want to mess with this numerology stuff. So I was like, I'm going to make 10 records and then stop, and that's it. And I really felt very comfortable doing that. And so when I started making the 11th record, it was against my will. But once I started writing better songs and then having them elevate them, 50 levels above what they really were, because they're super, super smart, then I felt like I was 15 years old in my basement on a 424 again. It just completely changed. And I was so connected musically with my mom. She bought me a 4-track when I was 14 years old. She pushed me into piano lessons when I was 6. She saw me more than anyone else. So it's like when she died, it was like an external hard drive of all my memories, and also the person that's most sympathetic to me and that knows me the most. It felt like I lost a lot of me, that forget her, I lost all of her, So it helped me.
It's hard. I'm so sorry to hear about your mom. And of course, you have to grieve that process, but sometimes it takes friends who let you have that space and time at the beginning to then pull you back to something.
Yes.
And it's good that we have those people in our life.
Yes, absolutely.
Who know not, to give you that space at the beginning, but then know that at some point, they need to help push you.
Yes, absolutely.
It sounds like you're happy you made the Cedars.
I'm very happy, and I'm totally happy.
Well, tell me about the record. You called it the Cedars, and I know, it's obvious why that it sounds a little bit heavy
Yes.
with how you were feeling about your mom and other things in your life, but it also has a lot of mysterious, mystical energy,
Yes.
and I know a lot of that has to do with the title and what that means to you.
Yes. So I'm part of this land commune in West Sonoma. It's a 400-acre parcel of land in very rural West Sonoma at the end of a dirt road, and it's kind of up against this 6,000-acre state park. And when we're on the peak of the land, we can see this geological formation about 5 miles north called the Cedars, and it looks like Mars. It's a serpentine canyon, and it has 9 endemic plants. It has 2 orchids that only grow there, and part of the reason is that it's it's the headwaters of Austin Creek, and for whatever reason, the soil, because of this geological, anomaly, the soil's super base, so only certain trees can survive there and plants. And there's a cypress tree that only grows there, but in 1830s, they thought it was a cedar tree, so they called it the Cedars. And so I just remember seeing this. It looks like Mars. There's this feature called the Red Slide. And it's just like an earthen color that you won't see anywhere outside of Utah or Nevada. And it's in the middle of this really lush Sonoma field. And I got obsessed with it, and I started Googling. There's only 3 or 4 articles about the Cedars. The neighbors were completely just not interested. No one felt that this was as important as I did, and so it kind of radicalized me into seeing it as a sacred, and I wanted to know what this space was. And so we tried to hike there numerous times. Spencer Hartling, who's our front of house tour manager, who's doing all the vocal dubbing, who is awesome. He's part of the land commune too. So we've tried to hike this land, and we get stopped by either a sheer cliff or a good old boy in a pickup truck and a shotgun. So, because you're crossing this unknowable combination of BLM and private land. And so for me, getting to the Cedars was like a state of mind, like the perfect song, the perfect melody line, the perfect chord change. But it's totally okay that you don't reach the Cedars. Do you know what I mean? We'll never make it there. And we've tried to hike there 10 times.
Wow.
And so to me, it became like a beautiful metaphor for this internal, position, aesthetic position.
Hearing you talk about this so passionately reminds me of something I already know about you, which is how connected you are to nature and to the land. I mean, that's in your system from childhood.
Yes. We grew up in rural Florida, and I grew up as a unattended, barefoot, wild child, you know, in the best sense of the word. Like, it was me and my mom, you know? And so I had like unlimited access to nature. I had a fishing boat that I could take out when I was 5 years old, go down the Swanee River. Like I had like access to infinity as far as I was concerned. And I had a very free floating, let's say, set of rules that I needed to, you know, adhere to from my family.
I have that same experience. It's kind of crazy to think of a child sort of able to let go in the middle of, all day long by themselves and take a boat out on a river.
Yes, an outboard motor, you know, that you're...
I had oars.
Nice. That's even more admirable. I feel guilty now.
We're talking with John Vanderslice live here in the KEXP studios, playing the Tractor Tavern here in Seattle tonight. The new album is The Cedars. It is so wonderful to have you here. I could chat with you all day, but I am dying to hear some more music.
It's a pleasure to talk. I want to thank everyone here at KEXP. Everyone's so lovely. This place is magic. This is the first time I've been to the new location, so I want to thank everyone. I brought records. I signed them to everyone.
It's right here. It's so beautiful.
Respect. This is called Will Call.
Don't you know how? So far behind. Seems like a couple years ago I was doing fine. Just stay alive. Oh, you and your timeless wandering. This is no time. Ring out. Don't you know how?
Rob Shelton, I love you, man. I'm not a drug addict. It's a shame I'm still hard at it, but damn it sure took you. I got you into this, and I can't get you out of this, 'cause I'm always gonna can't get through. I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you. Just stay strong, stay true. Don't bring home that 12-step itch. I'll sink that ship. What else can I do? On the edge of bankruptcy, on the fringes of legality, that's where I'll be. It's a miracle I'm not a drug addict, but you know me, I'm still hard at it, but damn it sure took you. I loved you, it's true, but there's a big part of me I stashed away from you. That last clean hit, that good.
Songs from the Cedars, the new album from John Vanderslice. Oh, I love that one. It's such a good record. Thank you so much.
That was so much fun. It was unreal.
So much fun.
Thank you.
You having fun out on tour? Where are you in the tour?
We're we're 2/3 of the way through, but then I go out for a month after this and open up for Pedro the Lion on the East Coast and the Midwest.
Nice.
So I'm 2 months straight.
It's been a while since you've been out on tour.
It's been a while and it feels amazing.
Good. You taking care of yourself?
Yes. Thank you for asking. Yeah, and I'm really happy.
Good. I heard a rumor that after 30 years in the Bay Area, you flew south.
I'm
like
moving,
so many before you.
Yeah, like so many. It's such an original move. I'm moving to LA on June 1st.
All right.
And I'm really happy. The studios in San Francisco, there are 3 rooms in San Francisco. They're thriving, and everyone here works in the studio. But I'm going to go down to LA, and I'm going to work in some other studios, and then maybe and eventually build a studio.
That's exciting. Well, we can't wait to see what you're up to next time we talk to you.
Thank you, Cheryl. I really appreciate it, and it's a pleasure to be here to everyone. Thank you.
Thanks to all of you.
And thanks to Myrna for playing with me. I love you guys. Thank you.
That love is palpable in this room. You're listening to John Vanderslice live on KEXP Seattle.
Hi, this is John Vanderslice, and Hi, this is John Vanderslice. I'm imploring you, I'm begging you to subscribe to this channel. I am a subscriber, and sorry, I'm off the train here. I'm way off the rails. Can we do one standing up, and I'll Is this too? It's probably too high. Hi, this is John Vanderslice, looking haggard and tired mid-tour. Please subscribe. Hi, this is John Vanderslice. Please subscribe to the KEXP channel. Good? Nice. Thank you, Justin. That was awesome, dude. That was great seeing you.
Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP